Well, once again, out there making it another great day, and I'm at Disney's Pop Century Resort. Second time I've ever stayed here. It's the very first resort that I stayed at when I stayed at a resort here at Disney. And it's a fun place, and I'm glad to be back. I'm going to give you a little resort tour, show you the different sections, show you a room. And right now through September, the food court is mobile order only. You can mobile order it, pick it up. You can still sit in their dining area and eat it or take it back to your room. So be aware if you're coming through September. I don't know what the exact date cutoff is. You can check online. I can't remember all these dates of these refurbs, but it's just what's going on here right now. But they have a lot of options to eat. Let's go check out the Pop Century Resort here at Walt Disney World, and it's coming at you right now.
Right there on the floor, Gigi.
Where are you going in such a hurry, boy?
Not even a slight bit of mild nudity.
Hey everybody, this is John Schneider.
We are the Gravlax brothers from the planet Fuckatron.
Hey, this is Butch Patrick from the Munsters.
I'm gonna put you out of the jail and throw away the key.
Making a great day.
Because you deserve it.
Yes, you do.
You deserve it.
You deserve a great day.
Well, we're going to start our little tour here of Disney's Pop Century, and right up here, this is where you come around and you can check in, drop off your luggage if you wish. I usually don't do that. I just go park and take it to my room. But this is Classic Hall right here where you go in. You can go to the front desk, or you can do mobile check-in as well. And out here in front, there's 1990. We're going backwards. 1980, have it stacked with the numbers for the years out in front in different fonts for that decade. Here's the 70s and the 60s, and all the way at the end here is the 50s. Right out here in front of Classic Hall. They got it all decked out. And it's a fun place. Right down here is the bus pickup to take you to Magic Kingdom and Disney Springs and Animal Kingdom and all that. They prefer you to use the Skyliner to go to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, but if that's down, they'll have buses running. So don't worry and don't panic. They will get you there. This is Classic Hall. This is the front desk where you can go up here if you need to, but you can do express check-in. On the sides of the walls, they have all the different decades with different types of memorabilia on the walls from those decades. These are the 90s. There's old Dick Tracy. And it goes all the way down through here from each decade. From the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Who remembers that Macintosh computer up there? I think everybody had that. Everybody had the Thriller album. And what's pretty cool is up there in that case, there's a Dukes of Hazzard coloring book. You got your Hollywood Squares and Wheel of Fortune and Who Shot JR and Where's the Beef? That's pretty cool. Yeah, we're talking about the 80s here. You got Simon and Cabbage Patch Dolls and Jane Fonda's Workout and Tootsie and Superman. And we come over here to the 70s. There's the famous Big Wheel up here. I had one. Platform shoes. All about Disney World because they opened in the 70s. Here's some pretty cool 8-track machines. The old Rocky Horror Picture Show and Star Wars and Saturday Night Fever. And then we go to the 50s. I'm going backwards. Here's the 50s. And lots of cool things happened in the 50s. I wasn't around then, but I grew up watching Shows like Laugh-In and I Dream of Jeannie and Adam 12, Flintstones. This is still more 50s stuff. Lots of stuff to look at. These are from the old drive-in theaters, the old speaker you would put on your car, and Betty Crocker cookbook, and the old dreaded ice tray. Those were a pain in the ass to have to deal with. Bowling was very popular. I remember having this school, I actually had this lunchbox. They were still making it. Even though it was a 50s item, they still made it up into the 70s and 80s. And lots of cool things here to look up. I remember pickup sticks and silly putty, even though it was made in the 50s, started in the 50s, they still had it in the 70s. But again, lots of stuff to look at here at Classic Hall, and a very big lobby. And it's early morning here right now, and I'm just sort of wandering around until I can get me some coffee up here when it opens in about 10 minutes. This right down here is Everything Pop Shopping and Dining. Doesn't open till 6 a.m. They are on a refurb on the dining. You can only do mobile ordering, but you can eat in the dining area after your mobile order is ready for pickup. And that's going on through, I think, September. It started in July, so a little refurb. This here is the Fast Forward Arcade, which doesn't open till 7 a.m. And they have set up the grab-and-go stuff that was normally over here at the food court that you can't get to now because of mobile order. But they have those grab-and-go sandwiches and things in here, and the mugs that you can purchase. And they've set up some tables back through there and moved a lot of the games all the way into the back and moved some games out to acquire this temporary area for some grab-and-go food. Right here, they even have a business center in this resort. There's your, ATM. They got your portable fuel rod chargers, a house phone, some seating, some places to charge your phones, and they have internet and printing services right here, public internet and Windows access, complimentary flight check-in and boarding pass printing. There's a printer here, and if you have to print a boarding pass or something, this is kind of nice to have this set up for you, that you can come in here for free and get on the internet and print what you need. Pretty cool. I am here in the 60s section, which is in the middle, and as you can see over here, there's a very long line to get on this Skyliner this morning to go to either Hollywood Studios or Epcot. It's about 7:40 a.m. and I'm going to go over here and get in this line. It runs pretty quick. It wasn't quite this long of a line when I rode it, got in line for it the other day. But today, gosh, it's way back through there. I don't even see where the end of it is. It's a long line, but it moves rather fast. But quite a trek. And everybody has to get on this because I don't think the buses run to Hollywood and Epcot anymore from here. You have to take the Skyliner. And I'm gonna be waiting a little bit. Well, I'm finally up to the end of this line, which is almost to the 50s building. Here's the end of the 60s building. And it is going to be a wait. I would say 20 minutes at least. Well, I got in line for the Skyliner at 7:45. It is now 7:50. I've been waiting about 10 minutes from way back, almost to the 50s building, and I'm almost up here on it. And I'm gonna go on this Skyliner over to the Caribbean Beach and transfer to Hollywood Studios. Well, I'm gonna show you the inside of the room here at Pop Century, which is similar to the rooms at the All-Stars. They've remodeled them all. This one has a shelf. It's got an ice bucket, cups, your standard coffee maker, and there's a small mini fridge and a little drawer here to put stuff in. This right here folds out into another bed, and then you can have it as a table. And nice, comfortable bed. Sliding doors for the bathroom. Lots of space here in the bathroom with hangers and shelving space down here and shelving space over here. There's an ironing board. And another thing they have here, inside here, is a full iron and hair dryer for your use. Very convenient. Plenty of shelves up here. A nice little vanity mirror. Even got a sliding door on this shower and toilet area. And they do have the conditioner, shampoo, and body washes here for you to use. So I usually don't bring any. I use theirs. And very nice. I'm back here at the entrance to the back part of where you go in for the arcade and the shopping and front desk and the dining. And there's also Pedal's Bar, which is out here. And if you get the refillable mug, they have a beverage station right there at the pool bar that you can refill that ice cold beverage 24/7 after, the 11 p.m. food court closes. This is the hippity dippity pool, and there's a lot of people out there dipping in. It's right between the 60s building, and the Brady Bunch would really love this pool. Look at them. Look at them flowers. That says Brady Bunch. If that doesn't say Brady Bunch, I don't know what does. They even got the flowers shooting water down at everybody. This is the main pool. There's a big Play-Doh can over there. And you got the big Dunkin' yo-yos for the stairwells on each side. And the sun is setting here at Pop Century. A lot of pastel flowers here. Marcia. I think Marcia, Jan, and Cindy would love this. It almost would probably fit their room color-wise. I believe that building is the laundry building where you do laundry. One of many probably locations. Of course, they got 70s, 80s, 90s, and down on the other end is the other decades, the 50s and the 60s. Big Dunkin' yo-yo. There's a green one on one side and the red one. I'm in the 70s building, home of the 8-track tape. I remember playing 8-track tapes when I was a kid in the car. My dad had an 8-track tape player. About wore out the Tammy Wynette one with Your Good Girl's Gonna Go Bad. When that came out on 8-track tape, I played the guts out of that thing. There's the Country Highway 70s Greatest Hits, and I think on the other side is soul music. And Classic Hall right there in the middle. And we are right there. And I'm in building number 6 right there, which is very convenient to the food court and not too far from the Skyliner. And it's a very big resort, as you can tell. Lots of buildings, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s buildings. And here's a little more detailed of, there's the hippy dippy pool. I think I called it the hippity dippity pool. I was almost right. And there's your Classic Hall food court. This area right here is where they have the fire pit and they roast s'mores. They was roasting those earlier, right before I went over to Classic Hall to get something to drink. And here's Goofy. He's getting ready to do some surfing. I think I'll pass on the surfing and take a spin in this Corvette. That is a hot Corvette. My neighbor used to have one look just like this. He had it candy apple red, and he went in the ditch one time. My dad had to tow him out. He was a doctor. This is the end of my building. It's soul of the 70s greatest grooves on this 8-track. And behind the 8-track is some stairwells. We'll go down over here in a minute and see the big wheel and the Mickey phone. A lot of 70s dancers there doing that disco, I guess. There's some mood rings up here. And right around here is the big wheel. Not only the big wheel, but a big gigantic foosball table. I used to play foosball at the bowling alley back when bowling alleys were hot. My mom used to bowl twice a week on 2 different leagues, and I played foosball. And I had one of these big wheels. I used to put water in the back of it because it had like a hole in the bottom, and you run around and the water would go all over the place, and I pretended the water was the gas for the big wheel. I know, kind of weird, right? But I did that. And here's the big Mickey phone. I do believe that Sonny Schroeder's wife had a Mickey phone like this at their house the first time I was at their house back in the 90s. And I always liked the Mickey phone. He's a big Mickey phone right here. This is where I go into my building. We'll check out some more resort here in a bit. And now I'm approaching the 80s buildings. And who's greeting us? Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. I don't think they make Mrs. Potato Head anymore. I think it's just called Potato Head. And it was cool when they had the Mrs. Potato Head and Mr. Potato Head. I had a Mr. Potato Head. I like these. I always like this little green cap there. I like the big gigantic Rubik's Cubes for the stairwells on the 80s buildings. Very cool. But even though it's cool, I didn't want to be this far back from the food court. That's why I wanted to be in the 70s building. So, yeah, even though it's cool, no. I like how they had the Pac-Man and little Pac-Man ghosts here on the sides of the building, and the little dots that their Pac-Man eats. And they got a big gigantic Sony Walkman. Everybody had one of those back in the day. I know I did. Mine wasn't yellow, I don't think. But those were the thing to have. And then when they came out with one that not only had the radio, but you could put a cassette tape in it. That rocked. And just now notice this big gigantic keyboard here. Remember all the F keys on the side they used to have when on keyboard? I don't think they have those anymore. At least mine don't at home. But all of your question marks and all that stuff's kind of up at the top, and the F keys are up at the top now. And there's a numbers pad. Still got a numbers pad. And here's old Roger Rabbit on this side, on this 80s building. He's on a big can of turpentine. You can see way down there, this is the computer pool. Look at that old laptop, and over here is one of them old floppy disks that you had to buy. I had tons of those. Absolutely useless and worthless today. I don't think you can even find a drive to play one back. I don't know, I think I still have some, but I'm not sure. But that is an original old-timey laptop, and I remember those well. Now I'm headed over into the 50s buildings, and the 50s buildings have giant Brunswick bowling pins camouflaging the stairwell. Lots of directories all over property, all over the resort. And 50s buildings was the building that I stayed at the first time I stayed at this resort back in, I think, 2006, which was a while ago. And the rooms were under $100 a night. back then. Here's one of the buildings, and of course the top of these buildings as well as all the other buildings have sayings from that decade. Real hip and you're grounded. I like the little transistor radios. I always like those and the records on the sides of these buildings here in the 50s. And the icons for the 50s building is Lady and the Tramp. Here's the lady on this side. And over here on this side, we have the Tramp. Larger than life. Kind of pops out at you, doesn't it? This is a fun resort, and still considered value resort, even though it's a little more pricey than the All-Stars. But and over here is the bowling pin pool. They have multiple pools here at this resort. See, you got bowling pins, bowling balls out here. And the pool is shaped like a gigantic bowling pin. And there's a jukebox back there on that building. I believe this building right here is the building I stayed in the first time I was here, all the way at the end. And I remember that very, very well. It was a fun trip. Definitely come check out Pop Century. They have the largest amount of rooms on property, about 3,000 rooms just at this resort here alone. There's some 50s dancers. She's got her poodle skirt on. And up there it says, way, way out. And when I read that, I think of the Flintstones with the way outs singing, we're going way out, way out. That's where the fun is, way out. Anybody remember that on the Flintstones? Well, this has been a fun little trip and a fun stay here at Disney's Pop Century, as always. I never have a bad time when I stay on Disney property, only because they have the bus transportation. You don't have to drive your car and all that stuff. And I stayed in the 70s building and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And every time I come, it's a different experience, a different trip, because I do different things. I might always do the same attractions or the same parks in the same order. I just kind of go and do what I want to do because I got an annual pass and I got a good discount here with my Disney Visa, Chase Visa card. I think it was like 35% off, which is not bad. Check them out, and it's a fun place to stay. And yeah, what else can I say? But everything here pops. Yeah. We'll be back with more Disney videos, and I don't just do Disney videos, but that's all I have right now, and I'm sorry about that. But living in Fort Myers doesn't give me a lot of opportunity to go out and explore and do other type videos I would like to do, that I used to do when I lived in Clearwater, St. Pete, or in Orlando. It's just the way it is. And maybe one day we'll have something different besides Disney. But for now, I'm hoping you enjoy this little tour of Disney's Pop Century here at Walt Disney World. And remember, keep going out there. You make it a great day because you deserve it.